What is up? It is Motorius. Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be recapping every series that happened today, so please stay tuned because shit went down. The first series I will be recapping was the Shanghai Dragons against the Washington Justice. The Shanghai Dragons have been on a roll lately. They've been winning so many games. They look great every single game they play, and they are just looking to get into that playoff cutoff. On the other side of things, we have the Washington Justice, who haven't been looking great at all. They've been looking really lackluster, and they're probably one of the worst teams in the league. However, with their new acquired support, Sleepy, let's see how they did in this series. So going over the first map, we have Busan. Shanghai Dragons take it 2-0 in a sweep. We have Paris on the second map. Shanghai takes it 2-1. On the third map, Blizzard World, Washington Justice takes it 1-0. They had an amazing defense on that first point, and Shanghai just couldn't seem to pull it together and execute on that first point. Washington Justice needed to win the next match to equalize the series into a 2-2, forcing game 5. However, Shanghai wins it on Gibraltar 2-1, making the overall score of the series 3-1 in Shanghai's favor. With this win, the Dragons move up to 4-2 with the +4 map win difference in Stage 2, which means they are 7th on the rankings and they are in the playoff cutoff. Right behind them is a Spark, and then right behind that is a Seoul Dynasty at 9, right under the line. So we will see who are the last two teams at 7 and 8 who will clinch the playoffs. Will it be the Dragons? Will it be the Spark, the Dynasty, the Hunters, or the Boston Uprising? Can't wait to see how this stage plays out. Let's talk about the match. The Shanghai Dragons beat the Washington Justice. However, if you're a Washington Justice fan, you are probably pretty upset because Gibraltar was such a winnable map. They could have forced that game 5, and who would have knows what happened in the game 5. But if you are still a Justice fan, you have to understand that the Shanghai Dragons last year were winless. Washington right now is 1-12. It's really rocky right now if you're a fan of them. However, the Justice are on their own journey just like the Shanghai Dragons were. And look at the Shanghai Dragons now. They're about to make playoffs in Stage 2 of Season 2. They've added new players to the roster. They have Ding, who's just playing amazing right now. Probably the best player on Shanghai. Gamsu, just a wonderful tank. DM is so underrated as a Zarya player. He is such a good individual mechanical player. He even plays heroes like Widow, so he really complements the Shanghai Dragons. And of course, Shanghai Dragons have that duo, Luffy, Coma, and they have that support player on Brigida, Youngjin. So they are doing really good right now. But who was the player of the match? Who stepped up for Shanghai Dragons? And it was none other than Ding. This guy has probably been MVP and player of the match the last 3 times that Shanghai has played. Let's look at his stats in the match because he went off. He had 30,000 hero damage done, 84 enemies EMP, that's with his ult, 125 enemies hacked. This is his Sombra, guys. 25 final blows, 48 hacked limbs, and 9 deaths. Guys, he's hacked 125 enemies and only had 9 deaths. Single digit deaths. Ding is probably one of the best Sombras in the league. I personally think he is the best, but I could see the arguments being made for other players. He just does so good at using his abilities, knowing when to get out, knowing who to hack, where to hack, just using every moment to his advantage and knowing how to play it. So that's the series, guys. Shanghai Dragons take it against the Washington Justice 3-1. In the next series, we have the London Spitfire against the Houston Outlaws, and this was an absolute stomp. The Houston Outlaws suck. Straight up, they just suck. They have no idea what they're doing. I saw the comments from yesterday. What do they have to do? And you guys answered a lot. A lot of you guys said replace Rockets. A lot of you guys said get Koreans. I have no idea what they have to do because they need to revamp their entire roster. They need to revamp their strategy. They need to revamp their staff. But let's talk about the match. When I say stomp, I mean 4-0. London Spitfire takes a series 4-0. Let's go over the maps individually. Lijiang Tower, London Spitfire takes it 2-0. Hanamura, London takes it 2-0. Gosh, Outlaws can't even get point A. Kings Row, London Spitfire takes it 3-2. So it's a little closer there. And Junkertown, London Spitfire take it 2-0. Gosh. London Spitfire needed a performance like this, especially against the Houston Outlaws and losing their last match. So they had to go off, and they did deliver. All they had to do was put Prophet on Zarya, he's always high energy, and just scrap the Sombra. They don't need it. And that's exactly what they did. Prophet carried on Zarya. They played amazing. The Houston Outlaws just look lost right now. They haven't won a game in all of Stage 2. But let's look at the player of the match. And who do we have? It was none other than the boy Jester on Reinhardt. He has so improved his Reinhardt from last stage to this stage, and I think that's one of the major reasons why London is such a good team right now. He had 31,000 damage done, 29 final blows, 26 Earth Shatter stuns, 16 Earth Shatter kills, 77 eliminations, and 18 deaths. However, those might be okay stats. They were really good stats, but if you watch his play, he really set the tempo for London. The aggression, the pace, the tempo, the flow. It was all based on Jester. His aggression really opened up for players like Birdring and Prophet to go off. Even Bedosian was doing work on Zenyatta as he always does. This London Spitfires team just seems complete, and I can't wait to see how they do in Stage 2 playoffs. Moving on to our next series, we had the great rematch of the Atlanta Reign and the New York Excelsior. Oh my gosh. I predicted that the New York Excelsior would stomp the Atlanta Reign just to prove to everybody that the last match was a fluke and they were not well prepared. Well, they had a while to prepare for the Atlanta Reign, and oh my gosh, the score was 3-2. It went to a Game 5 overtime to the Atlanta Reign. The Atlanta Reign beat the New York Excelsior again. What is going on? Even I thought it was a fluke because the next week the Atlanta Reign lose to the Charge. But they managed to beat the New York Excelsior again, and instead of a stomp, this series went down to the wire. It was an absolute slugfest. Let's go over the games right now for you. On the first map, Oasis, Atlanta Reign steps up and draws first blood, taking that map 2-0. Second map was Hanamura, and oh my gosh, Mano with his shatter there with that flank. He helped New York Excelsior take that 4-3. Then we got Blizzard World, Atlanta Reign. They take it 2-1. And then on Junkertown, New York take it 3-2. So it goes to a Game 5. Winner takes all. King of the Hill, Lijiang Tower, and Atlanta Reign takes it 2-0. And one of the closest series yet to watch in this stage. I honestly can't believe that they won. I know they did it before, but I thought New York Excelsior were going to spend nights, countless nights, day in and day out, preparing for the Atlanta Reign so they could orchestrate a stomp to prove that they are still one of the best teams in the league. This is the second loss for the New York Excelsior for the entire season 2, and it comes again from the Atlanta Reign. Let me know what you guys think. Why is Atlanta the kryptonite for the New York Excelsior? Why do they manage to beat the New York Excelsior every time? I thought New York Excelsior were going to step up to the plate and destroy Atlanta, but nope. Atlanta Reign, Dogman, Baby Bay, all these players to step up, and it's amazing to watch this type of Overwatch because this is how rivalries start. This is how plots and storylines start to emerge, and this is what makes the Overwatch League so exciting. Now let's talk about the actual games. Before I go into the games, I just want to say something that Baby Bay mentioned in his interview. The Atlanta Reign is probably the first and last team that beats New York Excelsior twice in a row, and not only that, they haven't made the stage playoffs. They're not even a playoff team, but they're beating one of the best teams in Overwatch League history. Like, what is going on? Anyway, the player of the match was Dogman on Zenyatta. He had 51,000 damage on Zenyatta, 58,000 healing, 28 final blows, 94 offensive assists, 51 defensive assists, and 27 deaths. Now, this guy is amazing. He's one of the strat callers for the Atlanta Reign. He's kind of the heart and the emotion of the team. He brings the energy with Baby Bay to this roster, and he's always been a key player for the Atlanta Reign success. In the first battle of New York and Atlanta Reign, he had crucial picks that single-handedly gave Atlanta Reign some maps, so he's a really, really influential player for the Atlanta Reign. So that's it for that match. What an amazing series to watch. I love watching the Atlanta Reign, and I wonder how they will do in the next stage, because they are looking to improve and actually become a playoff team. As for New York, we'll see how this will affect their play. Will it lower their confidence going into the playoffs? Because I know for a fact they definitely tried to prepare for the Atlanta Reign and it did not work. So are they going to lose trust into their coaches? Will the players not trust the staff? This is a recipe for disaster in New York, so we'll see how they handle it, because a true champion will rise up from this, will rise through the adversity and become great as they once were. That's it for that series. Now I'm going to talk about the last match of the day, and we had the Seoul Dynasty against the Vancouver Titans, and many people were excited for this match because the Vancouver Titans have been undefeated since last July, since their debut of the Overwatch League, and many people think that if they were to lose this stage, it would be the Seoul Dynasty beating them, because the Seoul Dynasty have so much potential and power on the roster. Well, let's go over the maps, and I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. Map 1, we had Lijiang, Vancouver Titans take it 2-1. Temple of Anubis, Vancouver takes it 2-1. Blizzard World, Vancouver Titans take it 4-3, and Junkertown, Vancouver Titans take it 3-1, making it a 4-0 stomp. The Vancouver Titans take it against the Seoul Dynasty. Now, who was the player of the match? It was the support player on Vancouver, Twilight. He played amazing on Ana, but his Zenyatta really shined. He had 23,000 damage done, 23,000 healing done, 14 final blows, 55 offensive assists, 40 defensive assists, and only 7 deaths in the entire match. What great play by Twilight. The casters kept praising him throughout this series because he played so well for the Vancouver Titans, and everybody on Vancouver is just such a great player, which is why they're such a good team. And with this win, they are adding to the record of the most matches won in a row at 17. So they are really making history, and I just can't wait for the Shock and Vancouver to play each other in the finals. That will be another dream finals because in my opinion, I think the Shock just got so much better, but in the end, we'll see what happens. It's just crazy to think that these two squads are just so much better than the rest of the competition. So I want to see them go head to head, the battle of the two monsters in the league. And not only that, in Philadelphia, Wells Fargo Center. Anyway, that's the video. I'm not going to cover Chengdu Hunters and the Los Angeles Valiant because I'm going to upload that tomorrow in my recap so I could upload this on time. Thank you all for the support, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for saying happy birthday to me in the comments. It really means a lot going through the comments, giving you guys hearts and pins. I honestly love you guys. Have a great night and a great day. Peace.